As Tuface's career was growing, so was his love for multiple women, and one of them was Pero. Pero Adeniyi was a US-based makeup artist who reportedly comes from a family with some prominence. Her father, Jide Adeniyi, is described as being from a rich pedigree and connected to the entertainment and music production industry. She was married to a Lagos big boy, Kunle Boroku, and together they had a child. But the marriage did not work out, so they got divorced. During those years, she visited Nigeria regularly, and it was on one of such visits to Nigeria that she met Tuface at an event in the year 2005. They started off as acquaintances, then friends, and then when Tuface was attacked at his residence, she was at his bedside, and that's where the love story began. But there was a problem. Tuface was in a serious relationship with Sumbo. Pero was able to catch Tuface's attention because she spoiled him with luxury gifts, money, business class trips, big shows, expensive hotels. It is safe to say she introduced him to the showbiz lifestyle. Rumor has it that Tuface was dating Sumbo and Pero at the same time, and they both gave birth to his children in 2006. While Sumbo gave birth to his first son, Pero gave birth to his first daughter in the same year. In 2008, while Sumbo gave birth to her second son, Pero also gave birth to a son. In all of this, Tuface had secretly gone back to Annie and she was pregnant. She gave birth to his second daughter, Isabel. The three women gave birth the same year without knowing this. This means Tuface had not one, but three babies born in the same year. When these women found out, Annie was emotionally wrecked, but still chose to stand by her man. Because according to her, she had invested too much in the relationship. People criticized these women, especially Annie, who they felt stooped too low by going back to Tuface and not knowing her self-worth. These three women all seemed to be in a silent competition for Tuface's heart. But at some point, Sumbo decided to bow out. She left Tuface. For Annie, it felt like heartbreak on repeat. For Sumbo, the pressure and loneliness grew heavy. For Tuface, fame had become a battlefield of choices he couldn't control. For years, Sumbo tried to hold on. She wanted love. She wanted stability. But she was living in the shadows of a superstar's complicated love life. The emotional pain became too much for her to bear. She once revealed that she felt spiritually and emotionally drained. So with courage many women never find, she walked away. She ended her relationship with Tuface, but not out of anger, but out of the need for peace, dignity, and healing. Walking away was painful, but it was the beginning of her transformation. She later found out that she could love again. She found love and married Pastor David Adeoye, a union celebrated across Nigeria as a story of grace and redemption. Today, they are blessed with two more beautiful children, a boy and a girl. Annie and Pero decided to continue with their romance with Tuface. But as time went by, Pero discovered that she couldn't have Tuface all to herself, so she decided to relocate back to the US. While Tuface and Annie continued in their off-again, on-again relationship. In the year 2012, on Valentine's Day, while Annie and her friends were out having dinner, Tuface pulled a surprise engagement on Annie in the presence of her friends. He asked her to be his wife, and an excited Annie said yes. People were so happy for them because it seemed like a perfect love story with a happy ending. But what was to come would shatter Annie's heart once again. 2 months after the engagement, Annie was busy celebrating, not knowing that Pero and Tuface were still having an affair. It turned out that Pero had given birth to her third child for Tuface. The media went agog with this story. Annie was shattered once again, and Tuface tried to win back her trust by breaking things off publicly with Pero and making it clear that he loved Annie and was going to marry her regardless. With this declaration, Pero knew she did not stand a chance, and she decided to move on. On March 23, 2013, the world watched as Annie and Tubaba tied the knot in a fairy tale wedding in Dubai, attended by celebrities, politicians, family and friends. It was just magical. But for every fairy tale, there's a reality. And for Annie and Tubaba, reality arrived quickly. The marriage came with new pressures. Social media added fuel. Old wounds resurfaced and the world had an opinion. They tried to protect their home, but being in the public eye meant every issue became a topic for discussion. After the wedding, controversies followed. Rumors, accusations, emotional interviews, and public misunderstandings. The most challenging moments were connected to Pero Idibia, the mother of 3 of Tubaba's children. When Tuface officially married Annie, many believed the issue with Pero was settled, but co-parenting with an ex continued to cause misunderstanding. A photo of Tubaba kissing Pero in a nightclub leaked online. This caused heavy speculation and tension because Annie felt disrespected. Pero said it wasn't romantic, but the public reacted otherwise. Pero and Annie had a confrontation in Lagos at an event. Annie accused Pero of using the children to get close to Tubaba. Pero later said Annie had insulted her and spread wrong assumptions. In November 2018, after years of bad blood, including social media feuds and public accusations, Annie and Pero reportedly made peace at an event in Ikeja at the Crescendo Lounge. They embraced in front of friends and fans, and Tubaba was visibly emotional, even shedding tears as the two women hugged. Multiple media outlets covered the moment, calling it a settlement of the long-standing rift between his wife and baby mama. After the reunion, it was widely thought that the relationship among Tubaba, Annie and Pero had become more cordial, or at least less hostile, which many fans described as peace in the household. The reconciliation was between Annie and Pero, but it did not mean the end of the drama in Tubaba's overall relationship. Over the years, there have been repeated controversies, allegations of infidelity and tension over Tubaba's closeness with Pero, which triggered serious strain between Tubaba and Annie. While netizens tried to mind their business, on a fateful day, Annie posted on Instagram that Tubaba spent nights at Pero's house without proper explanation. She accused Tubaba's family of supporting Pero over her. Tubaba's brother replied publicly, defending Pero and calling Annie's accusation false. Pero remained mostly silent, but later said she had nothing romantic with Tubaba anymore. She emphasized that co-parenting forced interactions, not a relationship. Today, she's happily married to Mr. Agofore, whom she refers to as Mr. O. For many years, life seemed beautiful for Annie and Tuface. They publicly celebrated each other on social media. Musicians like Omale dedicated songs to them, but that was about to change in a very wild twist. On January 26, 2025, Tuface posted on Instagram, "Annie and I have been separated for a while now and currently have filed for divorce." He said he would later release a press statement to share his side of the story. Minutes later, another post appeared on the same account stating that the account had been hacked and the divorce statement was deleted. However, Tuface went live on Instagram not long after and confirmed that the original divorce post was genuine, saying, "Nobody hacked my account, na me talk am. Na me talk wetin I wan talk. Nobody hacked my account. I said what I said." The world was stunned. What happened next would leave the world in shock. To find out, please subscribe, comment, and click the post notification bell to get notified.